We haven't really played that great footy since, but we have been in the top 2 and sort of almost a guaranteed a top 4 spot for nearly 8 weeks now. So this year is different to last year and the year before. This group is just at their own stage, and it's up to them to really come out of it, and that's what they need to do.
The St Kilda game was one of the great games. Everyone's talked about what a great game it was. What have you learned out of their team that you reckon you can beat them later on in September if you get there? Are they obvious weaknesses that have come out of that round 15 game?
Oh, look, there's some things, James, that we'd probably do differently, and we learnt. We've been working on our game continuously. There's some things that we haven't done well the last 8 weeks, but I think we're just relying on our boys just to spark up and be able to deliver when it really matters most. And St Kilda is one of the good sides, and the beauty, like you said earlier in the show, is that there's 4 cracking teams that, and that just makes it really interesting. And even the Carlton, Adelaide, Brisbane, it's going to be a really good final series.
And is it more about you guys than about them, do you think? If you play at your best footy, you pretty much, or is it a lot about the other teams as well?
No, I think most of it has got to come from us. Yeah, and you're guaranteed nothing. The best part about what's happened recently is that there was huge expectations on Geelong, and by everybody, our supporters, members, the media, everybody just thought St Kilda and Geelong were going to play in the grand final. Well, now we have to really earn that right, and you're guaranteed nothing, and that's really a good way to go into a final series.
Do you think Gary Ablett's getting a bad press? You think this stuff about Ablett getting cheap, he's getting too many down the back, not working hard enough, is that fair?
I don't think it is, really. I think anyone who gets 40 possessions, I still think he had his fair share of his own ball gets, and I thought he was fantastic in the weekend.
So, well, let me quote you what Lee Matthews said on his on the AFL website today. Regrettably, I was seduced by Ablett's 40 and included him in the top 4. If I had not looked at the stats, neither Ablett nor Corey would have been in the top 4. Now, I didn't agree with it. I thought Ablett was the best player on the ground on Friday night. But I mean, those cheapies that he did get when he did run past, he'd created the play initially anyway. He'd won the footy, given it off, and then run past it to create. So, where did you rate him in your players on Friday night?
Well, I gave him votes. I think I gave him a 4 or a 5. And I gave Joel, the coaches' awards that we give the 5 players on the ground. And I don't normally, I just try and take it for what it is and try and give the best 5 players. I don't sort of try and give some of our players and some of theirs. And I gave Joel Corey some votes and Gary Ablett.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, Tim Watson said on SEN that he thought Gary was playing for Brownlow votes. You're a good friend of Tim Watson's. There was a suggestion that you had actually had some part in that you were keen for Tim to say that to sting Gary back into his best form.
Yeah, no, I never did it. And I think Tim tried to clear it up, and he sort of spoke to me last Friday night before the game and just explained, what he'd done. And I said, well, he did come out and play a great game, which is a really good thing, and if that worked for him, it's fantastic. But no, I didn't put Tim up to it. I wouldn't do it. I've never done it in 10 years. I won't do it. If I'm around coaching in another 5 years or 10 years, I won't do it, ever.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that. It's very hard to believe. I mean,
who said that?
Mike made it up.
No, I wouldn't do that, Bomber. Geez, you pointed your finger there.
Or someone from the Age.
I didn't say it.
Yeah? You wouldn't have said that.
I'm just the messenger, Mark.
But you watch his game, though, and you watch the way you have to work through a zone. You've got to get lots of handballs, and you've got to work it through that zone nowadays. You can't just have one possession and then get out of the game. I mean, that's the way that you work through the zone. And I think that to say that someone gets those sort of stats is probably looking at a game 2 or 3 years ago rather than a game of today.
I think he struggled for a little while, like all our players. Since the St Kilda game, he's just been struggling to play his best football, and after that was sort of written or spoken about, he came out and got best on ground, and I thought he was very, very good.
When you're winning,
as well.
Everything is genius. When you're losing, everything's wrong. We're just having a look at your stats here, and I want to know whether you think you're playing the sort of footy that you want. At the present time, your kick-to-handball ratio is at an incredible low. 70.79 kicks to 1 handball, so you're handballing more than you're kicking, as against the Bulldogs, who are 1.36 kicks to 1 handball.
What does that mean, Jerry?
If you had a ratio, do you work to it, or is it just a byproduct of the way you play?
We never really look at the stats. Sometimes you can have like a real lot, and we just don't look at them. If you're under real pressure and you throw the ball around, that's fine, that's what you do. But if you get someone out who can kick the ball under no pressure, then you probably want him to kick the ball. Now, the reason why the Bulldogs probably didn't have that many handballs because they weren't under that much pressure when they got the ball on Friday night. They seemed to take a lot of marks through the midfield and have a lot of space, so they didn't really have to handball.
So if you don't look at things statistically, what would your eyes be telling you that has to change between now and 2 weeks' time for you to win that first final?
As far as stats?
No, as far as just what you see.
Oh, look, I think we need to win more of our own ball. And have a ruthless attack on it. I think our ruthlessness has just dropped off a little bit, and that's a mental thing. The players really have to drive themselves. And
Bomber, Tommy Harley, I mean, a lot of people, as we do these days, Blake gets to 30 and we sort of try to hasten his exit from the game. You're missing Harley the way he played in 2007 and when he's right, aren't you?
Yeah, look, he had no pre-season and he struggled. I don't think he played until round 9. And it was about, after the Brisbane game, he was really sore and we thought, well, let's come up with a plan. And the plan was always to be not to play at Etihad Stadium against the Bulldogs this game after travelling back from Sydney and playing in 6 days. But he felt terrific last week. But his management plan said that we weren't going to play in this game.
Who's in front in the ruck? I thought Blake was good Friday night.
He was good.
Yeah. Who's in
fantastic.
front? He or Mumford?
I'm not going to tell you before I tell the boys who are going to pick. I can't do that. I'd love to do it like. You've been good to Geelong, but
you've got the hoops on, Mike. Be careful though; it might make you look a bit rotund. But I appreciate your time. Obviously, it's a tough time. Would you say if you win this one, if you can win this flag, it would be a better win than 2 years ago?
Oh, I think it'd be a great achievement. Yeah, they're not easy to win, and when you have a run like us, it'd be good to win 2. Yeah, I think I'd really like our club to win 2. I'd like the players involved to win more than 1 premiership, and I'd like to win 2 as a coach as well.
Well, you've been great to us.
Retire and just go and do something else, like
come on the
sell
couch.
frozen water or something. Yeah.
Well, it's been great to have you on. It's obviously a tough time. Everything's coming to the pointy end.
Ice. I just got brought into an ice business.
Well, you should have given us a plug. And we'll give